In the heart of the lush rainforest of eastern Nigeria was the Kingdom of Arochukwu, a place of wonder and deep secrets. The kingdom was known far and wide for the Long Juju Oracle, a mysterious shrine where it was believed the god spoke through the earth. In this kingdom lived a young boy named Obi. Obi was curious and brave, with a sparkling smile that could light up the darkest room. His father Eze was one of the respected elders of Arochukwu, known for his wisdom and courage. One day, as the New Yam festival was approaching, a problem arose. The sky had turned dark, and the rain hadn't come for weeks. The crops were drying up and the people were worried. They needed the rain to grow their yams and other crops, or there would be no festival, a time everyone looked forward to all year. Eze decided it was time to consult the Long Juju Oracle. This was no small decision because the oracle was powerful and sometimes its demands were great. But the village needed guidance, and so it had to be done. Eze took Obi with him, thinking it was time his son learned the way of their ancestors. As they approached the shrine, the air grew cooler and a gentle wind whispered through the leaves. Obi felt a shiver run down his spine. The shrine was hidden deep in the forest, surrounded by towering trees that seemed to touch the sky. The oracle was a deep pit that went into the earth. It was said that the voice of the gods echoed from its depths. Eze stepped forward and threw in kola nut as an offering, speaking the ancient words of prayers. Obi watched in awe as his father's voice echoed into the silence. Suddenly, a low rumble came from the depths of the pit. Obi jumped back, his heart pounding. The earth trembled slightly under their feet. Then a voice deep and powerful spoke from the oracle. It said that a great journey lay ahead. Someone from the village needed to travel to the secret mountain to perform a ritual that would bring back the rains. The village was abuzz with questions. Who would go on this dangerous journey? The sacred mountain was many days away and filled with unknown perils. That night, as Obi lay in bed, he couldn't sleep. He felt a strange pull in his heart, a call to action. In the morning, Obi went to his father and with all the courage he could muster said, "Father, I want to go to the sacred mountain." Eze looked at Obi, surprised but also proud. He knew Obi was brave, but this was a big task for such a young boy. After much discussion, Eze agreed. He prepared Obi, giving him a bag filled with provisions, a map and many words of advice. The village gathered to see Obi off, chanting prayers and blessings for his safe return. Obi's journey was filled with challenges. He crossed swift rivers, climbed steep hills, and navigated dense forests. Along the way, he met different creatures. Some were friendly, like the talking parrots who gave him advice on which path to take. Others were not so friendly, like the great python that blocked his path one misty morning. Each challenge taught Obi something new about himself and his world. He learned to listen to the forest, to observe the star for direction, and to trust his instincts. Finally, after many days, Obi reached the sacred mountain. It was grand and imposing, covered in a mist that shimmered in the sunlight. Obi felt a mix of fear and excitement as he began the climb. At the top, he found the ancient altar his father had described. Obi performed the ritual just as his father had instructed. He placed the special herb in a circle, lit them, and chanted the old song of his people. As he chanted, the sky began to darken. A wind rose, howling around him, so strong that it almost knocked off his feet. Then, just as suddenly the wind stopped, Obi looked up to see the cloud parting. and the first drop of rain fell on his forehead. It was cool and refreshing. More drops followed, quickly turning into a downpour. Obi laughed and danced in the rain, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment and connection to his ancestors. As the rain soaked the ground, Obi knew it was time to return home. His journey back was quicker, as if the forest itself was helping him along. When he finally arrived back in Arochukwu, he was greeted as a hero. The crops were saved, the festival could happen, and the people were joyful. As the New Year festival drew near, the people of Arochukwu began their preparation with a new vigor. Their hearts light with relief after Obi's successful journey. However, deep within him, Obi sensed that his adventures had stirred something ancient, and his connection with the Long Juju Oracle had only just begun. A few days after his return, while the villagers were busy with festival preparations, Obi wandered to the edge of the village, drawn by mysterious melody that seems to float on the wind. There, hidden among the trees, he found an old woman singing, weaving a basket. Her name was Nneka, and as she was known as the village storyteller. Her eyes sparked with knowledge and secret as she invited Obi to sit with her. Nneka told Obi stories of the old days of heroes and spirits that has once walked the land. With each tale, she wove not just a basket but also a deeper understanding in Obi heritage. She spoke of the Guardian of the Oracle, a spirit that protected the sacred pit and occasionally chose a human to grant special wisdom. Nneka looked intently at Obi, hinting that his encounter with the Oracle was no mere chance. Her words were like seeds planting endless possibilities in Obi's mind. As the festival approached, Obi couldn't shake off the feeling that he was being called for something greater. The night before the festival, he dreamt of the oracle's pit, hearing the deep voice again calling him to return. Waking up with a start, he knew what he had to do. Early in the morning, before the other villagers were awake, Obi made his way back to the oracle. This time, the journey of the oracle felt different. The forest seemed to watch him, its ancient trees whispering secrets. When he reached the pit, the air was charged with a palpable energy. As he offered kola nuts, the ground trembles slightly under his feet, and the voice of the oracle boomed from the depth. Obi, choosing of the guardian, your destiny lies beyond the boundary of Arochukwu. You must journey to the forbidden mountain to retrieve the sacred stone. The sacred stone was a legend in Arochukwu, said to possess the power to communicate directly with the spirit. It was also said that no one who sought the stone had ever returned. Filled with determination and a hint of fear, Obi accepted the quest. He understood that this was his path, one that might lead him into great danger, but also offer his people a connection to their spiritual past that has been lost over generations. As Obi prepared for his journey, he confided in Nneka, who gave him an amulet for protection. This has been passed down from generations of my family, she explains. It will protect you when you are in doubt. With the amulet around his neck, Obi felt a surge of confidence. He said his goodbye, leaving the village amidst the bustling festival. His heart torn between the joy of his people and the uncertainty of his quest. Traveling through dense jungle and across harsh terrains, Obi faced numerous challenges, encountered creatures of law, and with each step the amulet warmth reminded him of his purpose and Nneka's trust. His skills as a hunter and the knowledge of the forest he had gained as a child in Arochukwu guided him through dangerous encounters. One evening, as Obi set up camp near the base of the forbidden mountain, He was visited by a spirit in the form of a white eagle. He spoke in a voice that filled the night air with majesty and grace. Obi, you are close to your goal. The secret stone is guided by the spirit of the mountain. Only a heart pure with true intent can claim it. The eagle then soared away, leaving behind a feather. Obi picked it up, the feather light yet as strong as his resolve. The next morning, Obi began his climb up the forbidden mountain. The path was steep and the air grew thin, but Obi's spirit was foiled by the tales of his ancestors, their struggles and their victory. When he reached the peak, he found a cave aglow with an ethereal light. Inside, the sacred stone awaited, its glow pulsating gently like a heartbeat. As Obi approached the stone, the air around him shimmered and the spirit of the mountain appeared. It was a terrifying yet awe-inspiring figure, cloaked in midst of swirling colors. The spirit challenged Obi, testing his bravery, wisdom and art. Each challenge was tougher than the last, drawing upon Obi's deepest fear and greatest strength. With the guardian of the amulet and the eagle's feather, Obi faced his challenge. When asked his final test, "Why do you seek the sacred stone?" Obi replied with sincerity, "To connect my people to the strength of their past and the promise of their future." Pleased with his answer, Spirit bestowed the sacred stone upon Obi. Triumphant and weary, Obi returned to Arochukwu. His return was celebrated and his journey became a new legend within the village. The sacred stone was placed in the shrine next to the oracle, rekindling a bond with the spirits that protected and guided the people of Arochukwu. After the excitement of Obi's successful return, with the sacred stone settled, life in Arochukwu resumed its rhyme. But for Obi, things were never quite the same. The young hero, once overflowing with youthful energy and curiosity, and carried the weight of responsibility. He found himself standing often by the oracle, lost in thought, feeling an unexplained emptiness despite his achievements. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Obi's grandmother Adaobi approached him. Adaobi was known for her wisdom and had a gentle way about her that could soothe any troubled heart. She noticed the change in Obi and decided it was time to share a truth that had been kept from him, a secret about his lineage. "Obi," she began, her voice as calm as the evening breeze, "there is something you must know about who you are." She told him about his ancestors, not just the warriors and leaders he had heard about in stories, but about his mother, whom he barely remembered. His mother Chioma, being a seer, blessed with vision that guided the village in time past. Her gift was a rare connection to the spiritual world, one that she had passed on to her son. This revelation shocked Obi to his core. He remembered his mother only on fragments, face a fading image in his mind. Adaobi explained that Choma's passing when Obi was very young had been sudden and shrouded in mystery. She had succumbed to a sickness that no medicine could cure, her body weakening as her spirit fought to reveal a vision too powerful for her to bear. With tears in his eyes, Obi listened as Adaobi described how Choma had foreseen great trials and triumph for Arochukwu. In her last days, she whispered of a protector who would rise from her own blood. "She spoke of you, Obi," Adaobi said, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Your journey to the sacred mountain, your connection to the Long Juju, it is no coincidence. You are the protector she foresaw." That night, under the vast African sky, Obi felt closer to his mother than ever before. He understood the loneliness he felt. It was the space within him where his mother's gift resided. With newfound resolve, Obi embraced his heritage not just as a warrior but as a spiritual guide for his people. He began to exploit the depth of his abilities, learning to interpret dreams and visions, guiding his people not only in the physical world but also in matters of the spirit. The following week, Obi brought closer to the villagers as he helped resolve disputes and forewarned of difficult times ahead. Just as his mother had, his bond with the community deepened, and he finally felt emptiness inside him begin to fill. However, peace was not to last. A neighboring village, envious of Arochukwu's prosperity and fearful of Obi's growing powers, plotted against him. One dark night, a band of raiders attacked Arochukwu, causing chaos and fear. Obi, tested like never before, had to defend his village and come to terms with the destruction aspect of his power. Felt torn between the gentle guidance his mother's gift provided and the harsh realities of protecting his people. In the aftermath of the attack, as the village healed its wounds, Obi found solace by Oracle, where he spoke to his mother's spirit. Through tears and whisper, he asked for her guidance. That night, he dreamt of Choma, radiant and smiling, her presence comforting. She spoke of balance, of the need to embrace both the light and shadow within him. Strengthened by his mother's wisdom, Obi rose from his grief with a heart resolved to lead with compassion and strength. He knew that his journey was not only about external adventures, but also about the inner quest to accept his complete self. As Arochukwu prospered under Obi's leadership, stories of his wisdom and bravery spread far and wide, drawing both friends and foes. But with each challenge, Obi grew wiser, his spirit more resilient. The boy who had once set out to save his village had become his most revered guardian, a leader whose story was etched into the heart of every villager. As the months passed, Obi's reputation as both a leader and seer grew, drawing individuals from distant lands seeking his counsel. With each visitor, Obi learned more about the vast world beyond Arochukwu, its complexities and diverse culture. However, the attention wasn't without its danger. Stories of a powerful seer in Arochukwu soon attracted interest of rival kingdom and those who wished to harness or challenge his ability for their own gain. One day, a mysterious figure appeared in Arochukwu, draped in a cloak that shimmered with an almost unnatural darkness. He introduced himself as Ezewine, a sorcerer from a distant kingdom. Ezewine requested a private audience with Obi, claiming to bring a message of grave importance. Though wary, Obi agreed, sensing the weight of the moment. During their meeting, Ezewine revealed a prophecy that spoke of a great calamity that would befall the land unless a sacred ritual was performed at the ancient standing stone. Relics said to hold immense power located as the kingdom's borders. The sorcerer's words were laced with urgency, yet something in his demeanor hinted at deceit. Obi, drawing upon the wisdom his mother has instilled in him, listened intently, but decided to consult the Long Juju Oracle before taking any action. That night, under the watchful eyes of the ancestors, Obi approached the oracle with offerings and chants. He sought guidance. The oracle responded with cryptic, warning Obi of manipulation and betrayal, but also speaking of a trial that would strengthen his leadership, torn between mistrust and the need to protect his people. Obi chose to prepare for the rituals while secretly planning to uncover Ezewine's true intentions. As the day of the ritual approached, Obi confided in Nneka, the village storyteller, and his trusted advisor. Together, they devised a plan to test Ezewine during the ritual, using a decor set of standing stones crafted by the village's best artisans. Meanwhile, Obi's nights were restless, filled with the wisdom of storms and shadows. his mother's voice whispering warning and wisdom. The day of the rituals was overcast, cloud hanging low as if mirroring the tension in the air. Obi, Ezenwanyị, and a select group of villagers made their way to the decor site. As the ceremony began, Obi observed Ezenwanyị closely. At the climax of the ritual, when Ezenwanyị believed he was activating the stone's power, Obi confronted him, demanding the truth. Caught off guard, Ezenwanyị facade crumbled, revealing his plan to weaken Arochukwu's spiritual defense for his kingdom to invade. The revelation shocked the villager, but Obi remained calm, drawing on his inner strength and the lesson learned from his mother. He forgave Ezenwanyị, offering him a chance for redemption. Obi's decision to respond with wisdom overwrought resonated deeply with both his people and Ezenwanyị, whose own hearts began to change. In the weeks that followed, peace was restored. This event not only solidified Obi's reputation as a wise and just leader, but also taught him the complex distance between mercy and strength, a balance he would continue to navigate throughout his role. As seasons changed, Obi's journey continued. He faced other challenges, each different yet interconnected, weaving a tapestry of leadership that was both mighty and compassionate. His connection to the spiritual realm deepened, allowing him to guide Arochukwu with a profound understanding of both the seen and unseen world. Under Obi's leadership, Arochukwu flourished, becoming a beacon of wisdom and spiritual power in the region. People from all over came to learn from Obi, to hear his stories and to seek his guidance. And throughout it all, Obi never forgot the lessons of his mother, his connection to the Long Juju Oracle, or the simple joys of his childhood in Arochukwu.